So guys, this is the NXT controller. Actually, this is the display. It's called the NXT display. And then this is the ASI Bac 855 controller on a BBSHD motor, right? Don't excuse my wiring. It's all janky right now. We're working on fixing that. But this bad boy right here is so badass. First of all, I didn't even have this on full power and went out and I was doing 60 miles an hour passing traffic on this, and like it was comfortable too. I did 45 on my old controller on this bike with just having the gearing set up in a certain way, and it wasn't comfortable. It was scary actually. This at 60 miles an hour, the throttle gives you so much smooth control that it was comfortable. I was passing cars. I couldn't believe it. I was like having so much fun. But it's dangerous fast. That's how fast it is now. What's cool about this is you got so many settings. So let me show you. So, alright, first of all, you got all of this menu right here. You got diagnostics, motor options, battery select, bike stats, input settings, power tuning, general restore, and wheel. Right? Let's go into power tuning. So power tuning is where you set up your limits, right? Hold on, it's hard to hold it like that. Let me hold it like this. Alright, so these are going to be your limits. You have two modes when using just the throttle, sport and eco. And you can change this around. You can actually go up to, on sport, you can go up to 4,000 watts, which is let's see, 4,000 watts is like 65 amps, I believe. But then it actually goes even higher than that because it's got 120 phase amps. So 4,000 watts, that's continuous, 76 amps. So yeah, I just had it on 3,200 and I did 60 miles an hour. So just imagine what 4,000 would be like, you know? And I had it in the smallest gear for the most torque, not even the gear for the most speed. But the reason why I did that is because with all that power in this motor, there's still a nylon gear in there, and doing 7 miles flat out with the throttle all the way down, I got finally to a place in traffic where I could stop and check the temperature of the motor, and it was burning hot. So sorry about that, it got interrupted. But yeah, so at 3,200 in the gear I had it in, which is one of my highest, biggest gears on the back, which means it's not a high speed gear, but more of a going uphill when you're pedaling type of gear. But we're talking about now, we got a electric motor, and the thing about this whole setup with this right here is it's got something called field weakening, right? And what that does is, with the original controller on this motor, first of all, you only get 30 or 28 amps, 1,500 watts. This is giving you up to 120 phase amps, 4,000 watts, but at 120 phase amps, that's like 8,000 watts. So 4,000 continuous, 76 amps continuous, and that's what, three times the stock power, 4 times almost the stock power. So it gets this motor really toasty if you stay on the throttle, putting that much power through it consistently for a very long time. Now, if you're just going around corners and up hills and whatever, and you're not always on the throttle full flat out all the way, like I just was, those settings are actually fine, having really high power settings. It's when you're full throttle for an extended period of time where having high power and a smaller gear in the back for higher speed ends up getting this motor really, really hot. And the problem with this motor is that it doesn't shed heat very well. There's a lot of good things about this motor, But one bad thing about it is it doesn't shed heat very well, and that has to do with why it's so bulletproof and indestructible, because it's an internal magnet motor, and that's also why it's such a indestructible motor. But one other bad thing about the motor is it's got what's called a nylon gear inside of here. And nylon, if you know anything about nylon, melts at a certain temperature. And so if you warm this up hot enough, that gear will melt, and then you'll get peanut butter gears, what they call it, where it's not even doing anything, it's just spinning. And then you have to pedal home. They make a stainless steel gear, which I have, to fix that issue for people like me that's going to put a lot of power through it. I just never needed it, and I didn't think I would ever need it, but after the ride I just had, I'm pretty sure this gear isn't going to last much longer unless I do something about the gearing and fix the heating issue. But like I said, there's fixes for that. There's things you can do to take care of that. I mean, that's not really the biggest issue in the world. What you see here is I got what's called a torque arm right here and another one right here. And that's because this motor attaches right here to your bottom bracket. If you see right there, there's a bar or tube that goes through to the other side of where the pedals go, and there's an axle that goes through here, and that's how you pedal and everything like that. And so this motor, originally stock without any of this silver on there, is only held on by this little ring right here and like little teeth that grip into the metal. And that's probably fine for low power and stock power, but when you're doing the power that I'm putting through this, you need to be extra careful that you're not going to strip that out. So that's what this is. And I know it looks ugly, but you know what? It's not. It's function over form. You know, it's more important for everything to run safely and reliably, because you go far on these bikes, than it is for it to look good, to be honest with you. So that's all. I don't care about how it really looks. I to an extent I do, but I'd rather it be reliable and look pretty, to be honest with you. So this is one torque arm right here, and these are cheap. You can get these for fairly cheap. I think I paid $5, $6 for this one, and they're machined out of aluminum or steel, one of the two. There's the other one. It's kind of hard to see with these wires in the way, but they both connect to the main motor mount bolts right here. You can see they wrap or go around this this mount. Let me see if I can get a light on that for you so you can see better. There you go. So there you can see there's one right here, and then you can see this back one right here goes all the way up to there. And yeah, you only need one really, but two is just, you know, you can't go wrong with two, right? And then here we got, this is the motor controller. This is the ASI Bac 855. Now this kit together, the screen and the controller comes from a guy named Alan. He's a really cool guy. He's the only guy that knows how to do all this, and this is really hard to do actually. Took him 2 years of learning how to do coding and all kinds of stuff to figure out how to program all this. What's cool about that screen is normally with these controllers you need there's an app called the Backdoor app that you use to program them. But the problem with that is if you buy the controllers from a third-party distributor, you won't get login credentials to use that app. You only can buy the controller from ASI directly and get login credentials. And the problem with that is a lot of the third-party guys do special tunes in these and set them up a special way and all this, that, and the other, right? So, it's kind of really tough to decide what to do with regards to that. But what's cool about this system is this display actually gives you a lot of the access to a lot of the tuning features available through the backdoor app. And on top of that, you get even more features than what's available in the backdoor app. So it's actually better than the backdoor app. Yeah, so I mean, this thing is just phenomenal. This kit, it's expensive. It's $600 for both the motor, the screen, and the wire harness. But it's definitely worth it if you have this motor already and you're, looking to hot rod it. This setup right here, I guarantee you, will give you almost as much fun as like a $6,000 Surron, These are the same actually controllers they put on the Surrons, but bigger. I have one over there, it's a Bac 2000 or a Bac 4000. It comes stock with a Bac 2000, I think. There's something similar to a Bac 2000. This is a Bac 855, so from the same company, just a little bit less powerful. Has all the same features. Yeah, I mean, these are phenomenal. I can't say enough about this controller and that screen. Those two made this whole package so much better. I thought the bike was great before I put that on, with it just stock, because it would do like, 35 miles per hour, and if I geared it right, it would do 45, and I thought being able to go down from my house to like 20-30 miles away and back was quite awesome, because I got two batteries. I got a battery here and I got a battery here, both for 21 amp hour 52 volt, and don't mind my custom mounting solution with the zip ties. It actually works, don't knock it. So yeah, I got these. This is 21 amp hour 52 volt. This is 21 amp hour 52 volt. They're tied together parallel, which makes them run even more efficiently when you do that, instead of running one at a time. And that also splits the load between the two, the amperage load, and allows you to run a lot more amps that way also. But now with this controller, it's even more efficient. Even at the higher amps that it pulls, it's more efficient than the best that the other controller was doing at a much lower amperage. So I mean, it's very impressive, very worth it. It actually is going to save money in batteries, because you'll have to cycle the batteries less if you're really like someone that's really picky about that. Yeah, there's so many benefits to it. I can't even go over them all in one video probably, but one of the downsides to it is the fact that now I need to upgrade my brakes, I need to upgrade my wheels, I need to upgrade my suspension. Actually, I got upgraded suspension right there. I just haven't put it on yet because I can't get this head tube out of the head shock, I mean. It's a pain in the butt, but I actually got it working, which this is the stock setup. I got it working before it wasn't working, and now it rides so much better with it working. But I still want to put that suspension I got over there on. You see it right there. Yeah, it's a air suspension, more modern setup. It's got literally, this is a 60 millimeter travel fork right here. That's 60 millimeter, and that little, I know it's hard to imagine that's 60 millimeters, but that actually gives you 60 millimeters of travel right there. That's 120, so I mean, you get a lot more, plus you get dampening settings and all kinds of stuff. This has some settings too, and don't get me wrong, this bike is from 1997, and in 1997 that was super revolutionary, because it was the only shock that was like a mono shock like that, and on top of that, it was 1.5 inch headset, 1.56 inch headset actually, when people weren't even using 1 1/8 yet. So I mean, people were using like 1/16 back then, or maybe 1/8. But still, it's the thicker headset does so much for you. But at the same time, I'm going with that. I'm gonna have to convert to 1/8 to run that fork, and I got a conversion headset adapter that goes into the headset so that it can hold that fork. But the problem is when I took all of the stem off and everything, I banged the shit out of this shock to try, or fork to try to get it out of the headset, and it just would not budge. No matter, I mean, I literally gave it Thor's hammer, and it didn't come out. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm glad I got it working at least, because before it was just really bad. It was bottoming out all the time. It had no pressure in it. I don't know what was wrong with it. I put some air in it, and I actually filled it up a lot more than I think it's supposed to be, and that's making it like semi-decent, but it's not 100%, so I still got to work on it. Just a little thing about Cannondale, so look at how clean the welds are on that. Wow, no welds, right? That's beautiful. No welds. Look at that. That's one thing I love about Cannondale bikes, or these old steel hardtails. They are beautiful works of art when it comes to like the welds and stuff like that. Beautiful paint job, but it's all bashed up now. I gotta clean it up. This is another thing I wanted to talk about. The suspension seat on a hardtail like this, where you don't have suspension in the back. That is a lifesaver. These are about $200, but they are well worth it when you, this is the old style suspension seats right here with the elastomers. And this is actually from like 90s. But it was expensive back in the day, so I kept it. And then this is about $200 nowadays, but what this does is it actually goes, I don't know if I'll be able to put enough force on it to show you guys. I gotta stand up and do it, but it actually goes up and down. Like there's a spring in here, and this travels up and down. This is like a mud guard, so the tire doesn't get mud all in the mechanism, and it's magnetic so that you can take it off and adjust your bolts for your seat. But yeah, this whole setup right here, man, it is so worth every dollar of the $200. Yeah, it's expensive, but so worth it. Saves your back, saves your ass, saves your balls, saves everything. What else is there? Another cool thing for e-bikes is, I don't feel like going through my bag to get it, but there's these brakes called Cool Stop brakes, and they're special brakes for e-bikes, and a lot of people say they stop with, they're these type of brakes where you put the pad on the rim, I forgot they call it, V-brake, or rim brakes, and they say that they make it actually feel like disc brakes when you use those. Oh, so I didn't even actually finish going through all this, by the way. So here you adjust your throttle power settings, right? Then you go through the assist, and this is, let me turn the light off so you can see better. What's going on with this? Turn off. Okay, so this is assist. So you got throttle, those are your throttle max settings, right? Then you got assist, and you can adjust the speed too. I just have it unlimited on the throttle side. On the assist side, I have it limited to 20 miles per hour. I'm gonna mess with these numbers. This is probably not what I'm gonna go with, but assist is like when you're pedaling, how much power it gives to help you. Yeah, so let me save that, and as you can see, it writes to the firmware. Boom, saved. And I have a mount for this, it's up there, but I'm just sitting down on the ground, so I'm just going through all this to show you guys. And so input settings, this is for like your throttle. You can calibrate your throttle, which is pretty dope. That way your throttle's like on point. You got regen braking, which I don't use because mid-drive motor doesn't work that way. A hub motor would work that way, so if you have a hub motor, you got regen braking, which is pretty... I kind of wish I would have got a hub motor, but at the same time, I like the mid-drive motors. So, and mid-drives are more expensive. They're on higher-end bikes, so it just kind of makes you think it's better, right? I don't know. To me, it seems. Anyway, so yeah, we got your throttle, calibration, brake. I don't know what the regen and the brake do, but whatever, you got that too. Let's see. You got your wheel settings for your wheel diameter, your gear ratio you can set, which is like, that's so crazy. You can't even do that on any other displays, set your gear ratio. You can set your wheel diameter, but you can never set your gear ratio. This has diagnostics for faults and warnings. Motor options. This is cool. So this is what I was talking about with the phase current. Motor current, 104 amps. I can go all the way up to 120 or all the way down to 65. That's, I think, 65. So, yeah, you can mess with that. This is field weakening. And field weakening is what makes that motor RPM go really high. I have mine set all the way up. Motor options. This is like censored or sensorless motor, your Hall sensors. This is diagnostics and calibration. I mean, there's everything on this thing, dude. And no other screens do all this stuff. Bike stats. You got your motor, your voltage, your, look at that, back 855, your firmware, right? You got your vehicle stats with your odometer, your max speed, your trip meter, then you got your max RPM, max current, max temp, which I'm going to put a temp sensor in here soon so I can monitor that. You can monitor voltage sag. I mean, come on, dude. And you could do it for a session or for the lifetime. So that is so awesome. Damn, my arm is starting to get so tired. This is a 30-minute long video so far almost. There's so much stuff to go over with this thing. Alright, let's see. Battery select. I haven't gone to that yet. I haven't even shown you guys the main screen either. Battery select. So battery pack 52. You can choose your options. I think you can go up to 70. 72 is the highest I think you can go. Oh wow, you can actually go up to 88. But I'm not gonna ever try 88. 72 would be the highest I ever try. That's pretty dope though. I didn't even know that. And you can use these on Surrounds, by the way, with the backs, with the ASI Bac controllers. So that's cool too, to know that. Let's see, what else did I not do yet? Power tuning, bike stats, general restore. This is for your screen. Right now it's only got one type of screen, which is this NXT screen right here. You got night and day, so you could switch between night and day like that. Eco and sport, right? Then you got your assist modes. I mean, man, this is awesome. Then you get back in the settings right here. Your RPMs come up here. Your speed comes up there. Your trip mileage comes up there. I mean, assist or throttle, speed mode. I mean, you got everything. So, yeah, I'm getting tired, so I'm going to just end the video here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up and let me know. I know it's a long video. If you stayed this long, I appreciate it. I'm going to be starting my YouTube channel with this series on e-bikes. And, yeah, just ask me for the information. I'll give you the link.